You're welcome back to Morning Express. Now let's invite the next guest here in the studio with us, a regular on the program and also a geospatial analyst, Mr. Ahmed Yusuf Muyideen. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for availing yourself for this discussion.
And good morning, viewers. And you are welcome to the advocate. We are going to have a sensible advocacy.
Absolutely.
Right away.
A sensible advocacy, but a lot of Nigerians might say that this is not really a good morning for them.
Okay.
On Sunday, particularly, we saw an abduction of 25 schoolgirls in KB. This was not reported right away by local media. Many Nigerians saw it on international media houses before even the local media took it up.
Yeah.
I just want to get your reaction to this very disturbing development that has pushed us back to the dark, gory days of the Chibok girls' abduction and the campaign for the girls to be brought back to their homes.
You know, there is a say, if you continue to do a particular thing in a particular way, and you expecting a different result, you cannot, you will just be deceiving yourself.
Yes.
You must change the wheel of our approach as to the way security has been carried out.
Yes.
When an occurrence takes place, as far as the Chibok girls, to Dapchi, to some school in Zamfara, we have it more than enough.
Yes.
Kagara in Niger State, over the years there has been school adoption. And I think at the time, this Federal Ministry of Education and some partner agency came up with the Safer School initiative as to make sure that security is readily available in schools. And this Safe School initiative was supposed to make sure that all schools are properly fenced and security logistics are provided as to mitigate against this sort of insurgency. So any state or any school setting that have a lot of students and are very remote to where this is insurgent or bandit or whatever, the criminals can have access to should have by now. You know, something happened similarly in Yauri. Is around that KB state also. So if it happens once and it happens again, it means that the machinery of state who are supposed to come to the party in terms of protection for this school will couple with this Safe School initiative of the Federal Ministry of Education, which sought to provide a safer ground for our children to learn, has been compromised. And the state government, I've told you time without number, are the closest persons to the people. In fact, the schools are in their domain. And since this thing has always occurred, I think it is state government and those people that are supposed to provide security that lag behind in this case and allow such a dastard act to be meted on our students. So, and when you come to the media angle, then, you know, the issue of conspiracy is always there. You know, maybe the Nigerian state has fine-tuned a modality or a way to make sure that those things are played down so that to not give the upper hand to the insurgent to continue to feel that they are very.
But then, how do you explain downplaying reality? If 25 girls were abducted, why do you want to sweep it under the carpet so that you don't? It doesn't seem like you are giving much attention or relevance to the bandits. They should be given attention. They should be given relevance because what they have executed is something that should put the country on its toes. So I don't understand the concept, the Nigerian concept of downplaying attacks or abductions by terrorists or bandits just so we can protect the image of the nation.
Sometimes it's not image protection. Like now, there was a time in this country that kidnapping started. And the kidnapper, they will always demand ransom. And the amount of ransom being demanded will be known to the public. You know, that if some people find out that, okay, this is a lucrative adventure, since they can pay 2 million, 3 million, up to 100 million to get somebody. Some people who have the wherewith to do the kidnapping may easily go into the business. In such instances, you downplay such information, not as a result that the government is not doing anything or the government is not capable of going after the. But what the angle I'm coming off is that what interest the foreign media, we had a Dangote refinery that came up.
Yeah.
We have a lot of projects that the government is doing to ameliorate the suffering of the people. We have a lot of intervention that the government all over the years does to make sure Nigeria move forward. You will never see it on the foreign media.
But that happens everywhere. Investments, refineries being opened. That is the business of the federal government. That is the business of Dangote. Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here, Mr. Muyideen.
Yeah.
Dangote refinery opens up, or Dangote as a businessman opens up a refinery. You don't expect CNN or BBC or Al Jazeera or CGTN or DW to pick it up just because a refinery has been opened in Nigeria.
Okay.
But 25 schoolgirls are abducted. It is supposed to be a story. It's a human angle story that should be carried by every sensible media house, irrespective of whether it happens in Nigeria or in South Korea or in Cameroon or in Germany.
Okay.
An abduction of such magnitude is supposed to be first of national concern, secondly of global concern.
The security apparatus in Nigeria and the security system are already on the work on this issue, and they are doing their work without interfering, without involving the international community as to how we are going about. And let me tell you one thing. This narrative of always reporting 99.9% of what is bad about Africa, leaving out 99% of what is good about Africa, should no longer be entertained by us. We should start telling our own story. Yes,
Do we have a security problem in Nigeria?
Absolutely.
Was a brigadier general killed in Borno State recently?
You see,
was a brigadier general murdered by ISWAP terrorists in Borno State recently?
I saw a clip in that regard, so I have not substantially verified that claim.
Was there an abduction of 25 schoolgirls in a school in Kebbi State?
Yes, that is.
In the last 4 days, 145 persons have been missing due to either terrorist or bandit attacks, and these 145 people are still unaccounted for. Do you still think the issue of insecurity in the country is one that should be swept under the carpet or handled with baby gloves?
You see, you just pose your question within 2 lines, but let me speak to this issue so that we can get a clarity. Okay. The Nigerian state has been bedeviled by insecurity, and a lot of investigation have shown that external factors are into it. So why I pick on you bring a line about the international media. This thing is also in some news media that are local, especially the e-media and the social media platforms. What I'm saying is that there is no way that they will continue to magnify only the negative aspect of Africa, and will still want to be allowing them to come and be picking news that the magnify issue that will always be a boiling point on our land. Yes, there are insecurity, and are the system trying to curtail it? I will tell you that the Nigerian security agency and apparatus have always been...
The fact that we are trying to curtail it and the fact that the media reportage on it is true are two different things. The Nigerian security forces are curtailing it. It is their job. The media houses, both locally and internationally, are carrying the story. It is also their job to do so.
The reason I'm giving you why you just suppose that only the international media were at the forefront of hearing this. And I tell you that, I'm trying to tell you that it's in their interest to see negative things about Africa.
When you say it's in their interest, in the last couple of months, we have seen sparks, friction between Nigeria and the US. We have seen internally sparks between two major religions in the country, where there was an allegation of a Christian genocide, killings in the northwest, killings in the north central, in Benue, in Plateau, in Kaduna. You know, a lot of these things are glaring. They are not just news we hear. They are things we see.
That happen on a daily basis.
They are things that happen on a daily basis. And a lot of international attention was drawn to Nigeria. That case was still being handled by the presidency and key stakeholders. And then this happens. Do you think that off the back of that one, we are having yet another abduction, then the international media should just turn their eye to the side because, in quote, you said our security agencies are on top of the matter? Is that sensible?
You see, when we discussed last week on this program, there is issue of House of Rep committee in the United States.
Yeah.
That indicted the United States government to be the chief sponsor of ISWAP.
Yes. Via funds through USAID.
Now, one of the people that propagate the issue of the insecurity is still the international media, and they give credence to these insurgents, and they fester on a daily basis. One of the way they propel and promote these activities of these, you say the media space is a space where opinions are made, and outlook of which the issues will be in the front burners are shaped. So we must be able to have a counter narrative, because we know our enemy are both within and from outside. So when we come to a forum like this, we must let people know as to the hidden agendas that will be mitigating against the growth of our nation, and even the fight against insecurity.
I understand
information management,
Mr.
information management and security is also very, very crucial.
Two things you're saying here is that there is an agenda to smear the image of the nation.
It has already been done, but now
the agenda is there.
It has already been done.
Are we going to continue lying to ourselves that these things are not happening?
Now, if the same people that are pushing this narrative, the media outlets,
narrative?
You see.
But it is reality.
No.
I honestly, I'm a very patriotic Nigerian.
Yeah.
And I will never, for one day, vilify the nation or speak against the country when
in a negative light. Which is
but
very,
when there
patriotic.
is glaring evidence that this is happening, why would you want me or any Nigerian to lie or sweep it under the carpet or twist the narrative just because we want the international community to see us for what we are not?
It's not the international community. The international community that we are talking about, somehow it serves their interest to see Nigerian boys. Like when they brought about the Christian genocide and Islamic terrorist network, and it's a ground for them to come with their invasion mechanism. It's because the issue has been blown out of proportion over the years. What I'm just trying to say now, they make it look as if it's the Muslim in Nigeria that are trying to exterminate the Christians. And this is not the true reality on ground.
The reality is that
we have insecurity in our land.
The reality is that we have insecurity.
Holistically as an insecurity.
Yes.
Now, if those people behind it, if their media are coming up with story that to magnify it, it suits their purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. And we as Nigeria, we should know who our enemies are. As much as the government want to downplay, what I'm saying that maybe the government is trying to see that the more you can manage this information in circulation, you can be able to put this thing into their partition it as they are happening, and be able to nib it in the board. Now, this one in Kebbi State has shown that okay, they still have a shell. Do you know how many of their shells has been decimated in the last few days? Now, in rush for the last hour and the type of firepower they have received in the last few months, they may go hectare-scatter trying to look for soft target. Even some military might have fallen into their prey because maybe their level of alertness was not up to date. In fact, there was a counter-claim that there's nothing happened to those soldiers. Some media was carried that the Major General has lead his troop back to base, which I heard from some media. Maybe they first yesterday, but now for some video to go in circulation where these soldiers have been decimated and exterminated. But one need to substantiate the story and know those key people in that picture, how true is it that a member of the Nigerian army? Because this insurgency that you are seeing, they are going to any length to still keep being relevant in the space, and they have all the wherewith, both a media backers, to make sure that they continue to project their activities, and as such make Nigeria seems as a weak nation which cannot stand up. And I will tell you that these people that are trying to say they want to be your savior, this ISWAP originated from their back end. The war in Libya left a lot of harm in the hand of non-state actors, which millions of ammunition was able to come into the Sahel, and Nigeria is at the receiving end, because even it's a normal saying that goes that when Nigeria sneeze, the rest of Africa catches cold. And the issue in Libya, when it degenerated, all those mercenaries that are fighting the Libyan war front were the people that formed the ISWAPs of this world. And they bedevil Burkina Faso, they bedevil Mali, they bedevil Niger and Chad. And these people have stand up to them because of their size and number and push them out. And the last fringes where they are is Nigeria. And the Nigerian state is the stake in the eye of the West. And the fall of Nigeria, or the weakness of Nigeria, is a narrative that suits those people that are pushing the ISWAP agenda. And ISWAP agenda is the baby project.
Mr. Yusuf, let's keep ISWAP.
Yeah, ISWAP, yeah.
Let's keep the US aside.
Yeah.
Let's keep the international community aside.
You started with their press.
And look.
You started with their press.
Hold on.
You started with their press. And that's where
okay, let's keep their press aside.
What is their interest?
Let's keep their press aside.
Yeah.
Internally, are we suffering?
Yes.
Internally,
Yes.
are Nigerians afraid?
Yeah, security-wise.
Internally, security-wise, Nigerians are afraid.
Yeah.
Nigerians are being killed.
Yes.
Nigerians are being abducted on a daily basis.
Yes.
I made a statement here, and I said that in the last 4 years, in the last 4 days, reports have shown that 145 people have gone missing due to abductions, including the 25 schoolgirls.
Yeah.
You didn't react to that. Is this now the norm, the new norm in the country? Take away the international media, take away the US, take away, all those external powers or influences that are trying to push a certain narrative in the country. Take away the topic of a Christian genocide. Internally, are Nigerians safe in Nigeria? Can you travel from Abuja to Lokoja without fear of being kidnapped along the expressway?
Yeah, you see, there is insecurity in Nigeria, which is an accepted norm. And we have a particular source that this particular thing is started with a pattern. And as you cut one particular pattern, another one emerges. In the last 1 month or so, there's a lot of heavy shelling, even among the insurgents, because of they have been pushed to a particular territory and they have to fight for space. They have to even decimate each other. Then coming from that background, from what they say happened with the military, which me, I have not gotten to the root of the matter so that I can speak to that issue, that the military were being abducted and killed. That's a weakness on the status of a military of the Nigerian state. Yeah. But what I'm just trying to hit at is that Kaduna, Abuja Road, before now, can you pass through that place? They have been pushed away from that, and it happened maybe in the space of 2 years ago. If you go to Benungwari, along the border of Niger State, en route Tegna to Kagara, down to Benungwari in Kaduna State, that road is I will not advise my worst enemy in the last 5 years to travel along that route. It's still like that today, which I will tell you that the military has cleared those people from that axis. In Zamfara, the last few weeks, there's been heavy shelling of the shell of this personality. And Zamfara's share border with Kebbi State. Yeah. Those people who are shelled out of Zamfara might have migrated to, and on their parts.
So they are not being annihilated, they are being shifted from one point to another.
Now often at times, the military said, well, this is an asymmetric warfare. If you want to go into an enemy territory that is a neighboring country, like when we have problem that the Chadian army took over Lake Chad. Yes. Nigerian and Lake Chad, according to international convention, shared the use of that Lake Chad. There are some sides that belong. When the Chadian troops came in and decimated the Nigerian settlers along those river, then the late Muhammad Buhari was a brigade commander in the northeast. Because we are fighting another enemy, in a week, on 21 days of the movement of the troops, Nigerian troops into Chadian, they have to move the Chadian back, the military, back to their own base in Jamina. This is a war that you are fighting with outsider. Yes. But when you are fighting an asymmetric war, we must be able to know that this war we are fighting is not in connection with outsider. Although there are outside funding, there are outside help for these people, but they are using our own people. Now, in fighting such way, you don't just go to a village knowing that some persons from this village are, and then you now swap this village off. You must go, and these people, when they do what they do, they even retire into some homes in that community. If the military say they should wipe a village up for whatever reason, it will be another thing for Amnesty International that the Nigerian army are being brutal on the local people instead of going for the. So it is a war that has so many tails and head, and the more you cut one, another one emerges. So we should recognize that we are in a quagmire. What we need to do is that everybody must be in a state of alertness. And some people have been calling me in the last 5 days. Know where you travel to, know how you go to. You know, they just call us. Just okay. Even before now, I go to Mina from here.
Yes.
I go to Mina every weekend. At 9 o'clock in the night, I leave Abuja, knowing that by 11 o'clock I'm in Mina. But now I don't do that. In the last 5 years, I don't do that because you get what I'm saying. So we should be aware. And then one thing that happened as for the guard of this school, the issue of local government autonomy must be taken serious. In fact, local government security network must be first put in place, because if these people are there and can see them, because they have already retired to the fringes. Now, why will a school, since the Chibos girl, up to now, our school are still not safe? I don't see why people will move into school, kidnap 45 girls, and there is no prevention, there is no any movement. If you watch it in the advanced world, some crime are committed. Before you know, there will be helicopter in the air, there will be land troops following these people wherever they are going to enter among that land. So our territorial internal security is not properly surveyed by the military.
So now you are agreeing that there is a deficiency. You are agreeing that there is a deficiency in our security structure.
There's a deficiency in our security structure. Is an internal thing. And
should not be talked about by international media.
You see, these international media are culpable. Let's call a spade a spade.
Culpable in what way?
In projecting the activities of this insurgent, in promoting whatever it is that they are doing.
But do you know that in the
apart from the paymaster of the international media,
at the height of the Boko Haram insurgency, reports both internationally and locally were flying around all over the place. Yeah. At some point, the international media looked away from Nigeria because the insurgency was, stemmed down to a very large extent. There were pockets of attacks, but no longer in such a very gory and worrisome manner like we were seeing. But in the first place, there shouldn't even be anything like that. The only reason why we are seeing a resurgence of international reportage on our security situation in the country is because of the most recent happenings following, the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. That is the first one, the blacklisting of Nigeria on the CPC CPC list.
Yeah.
So if Nigeria is on the CPC list, it's only normal that eyes will be on Nigeria. Yeah. And I don't think we should be worried about who is looking at us. Yeah. We should rather be worried about how we are putting our house in order.
You see, we have a problem that our external factor are contributing to it.
Okay.
Now, there was a time Baba Gana Zulum, the governor of Borno State, sent packing international agencies from Borno. Somebody came to say they want to curtail insurgency and help IDP, and they are renting or building a structure for 21 to stay in Borno for 21 years. Emergency operation. You want to stay in that place for 21 years. And the governor said, if you don't have other interior motive, you shouldn't be looking for a space of 21 years to stay in Borno. What I'm trying to hit at is that, in as much as we're having a security problem, our approach to managing it should be internally coordinated. So if the government say, okay, let's downplay some information as we deal with this thing in the board, because we have allowed it to fester along. That should be a new approach. That's why I said if you continue to treat a disease in the same manner, you are likely to continue to get the same result until when you go further to diagnose what is really the problem and look from all angles and view from every perspective as to how to solve the problem. And one of them is information management. That's what I'm just trying to say. Information management is very, very important in the United States of America, which you said we should not make a comparison. You know how many gunshots, you know what happened in a daily basis, but their media, what is bad about America? As I'm talking to you,
we know about
let me tell you,
the school shootings.
There are some states now they are bankrupt in America. In states of America that are bankrupt. You will prefer to live in even these places that you are saying that is insecure than to stay there because of the level of drug intake, the level of dilapidation that they are structured as I'm talking to you, the American economy is going down the drain, and the America are feeling the pinch. But no matter what it is, the American media space do not magnify such things to the world, and they are playing internally to make sure that those things are resolved. So what I'm saying that information management, internal information management is critical to how to continue to solve the Nigerian problem. And this is my own take as far as this issue of what the fact that those girls were kidnapped is not speak well. And one of the way we manage it is give local government autonomy, give them their money, let them manage their space.
But that has been done by the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court does it as the governor done it. The people that are elected into the local government, they didn't have the way.
So now it is an internal problem.
No,
it is our own problem.
That's the way we should go about it.
By our own people.
It has festered for long. Now this is the solution going forward. So if a school is located in a local government, the security, the number of insurgency coming to that local government, as they've seen a lapses in the coordination of the people, they've seen a weakness. This weakness is systemic, because you do not allow the local government to be viable, to have the wherewith to manage their own crisis. All resolution, all security design, all the security solution that we peddle on a daily basis is taking place at the government house with the security chiefs in the state capital. This is no longer obtainable. They should make the local government chairman be viable. They should be the chief security in their local government. They should be able to pilot their affair, and they should be able to serve as early warning system if they see any cynical movement in their local space. These are what I'm trying to say. And it can only be solved internally without outside forces, because one of the critical problems we have is that we have external influence in the activities of these marauders that call themselves bandits or terrorists. They are just criminal wandering, trying to make sure that the very fabric of our society, which is a united Nigeria, is decimated so that the country will go on its knee. And that's why I advocate, if the government has bringing a policy of information management, let us key into it so that we can, at the end of the day, I know there will be light at the end of the tunnel, and we have the wherewith internally to resolve this crisis. That's my own take.
Well, we have the wherewith internally to resolve this crisis, but I also would want to state that stakeholders, government, should be held accountable for
which I've rightly done now
for the action.
Local government autonomy is not
individuals like former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had condemned the KB attacks while saying that Nigeria cannot continue on this path. And I believe a lot of Nigerians also share the same thoughts with the former Vice President. The People's Democratic Party, the ADC, have condemned this attack and are asking the APC-led federal government to ensure that they rescue these abducted schoolgirls. If individuals like Atiku, parties like the PDP and the ADC are voicing out their concerns about this, don't you think it's right for us to also voice out our concerns and hold ourselves accountable and not be worried about how the international media portrays us? Because if our house is in order, if we don't have insecurity to that extent, I mean, insecurity is everywhere. There are mass shootings in the US, school shootings and whatnot. You go to Russia and Ukraine, you go to the Middle East, there are crises.
The world is boiling.
The world is boiling, but
we must handle our own case.
We must handle our own case internally, not to downplay it or sweep it under the carpet.
You see, since the day of Chibok girls, Atiku Abubakar has always condemned every of those acts, but he was part of the opposition that stand up against the federal government led under the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan government. He was part of those people that magnified the issue of the Chibok girls, and it's as at that time. So if Atiku Abubakar come out and saying this today, it's not something new. He has said such before when he was still when this party was in opposition. So he was a part of the people that set up this APC at the initial stage to curtail the insecurity. One of the cardinal aim of APC when it was coming on board is to make sure that insecurity is being curtailed. Yeah. But let me tell you, no nation is in isolation. There are a lot of interests that are on Nigeria that made this insecurity a very difficult thing to attain. But as I'm telling you, the moment you kill one, another one will rear its head. And these people that are pushing this narrative to make sure Nigeria is a weak nation, or Nigeria become weak in the eyes of the world, and the intervention will be needed. But it's in this era, despite that fact, the biggest refinery was built in Nigeria. Despite the insecurity, we should acknowledge those. It's in this
But
era.
I believe the refinery was not built in an insecurity hotspot or a Boko Haram
There was a time.
hotspot.
There was a time. The live wire and the decision center of Nigerian state is Abuja. That was Nyanya here. It was not secure. There was a time a bomb blast in Madala in Suleja there, which is so effort have been made to push them out to the barest, to the fringes and out of this nation. But all hands. What I'm just saying that all hands must be on deck. We should not politicize it. We should not make it a religion issue. We should just know that our land is suffering a lot of degradation as a result of so many factors, which we should not be pushing blame here and there. Because if you look at the table, either APC, PDP, everything that is just like merry-go-round. People that are in opposition today, they have once been in government. So if you want to put the blame, it's everybody that needs to be blamed. If somebody is there today trying to handle the issue, we should find a way to come together as a common front. If we have that united front from inception, by now this insecurity will have been, and we are getting there. That's my own take. So what we need to be united on this front. So there is problem, or that tomorrow there will be no problem, is a lie from the pit of hell that if we wake up tomorrow there will be no problem. Every day that we wake up as human beings, we are born to solve one or two problems. And this insecurity is not a problem that is insurmountable. What we need is just that we are having a convergent point and look at this issue critically with one eye and solve it holistically without politicizing it, without making it a religion issue or the minority against the majority against the minority. We should just see it because we have a multifaceted angle to look at this particular issue. This is my own take.
All right, interesting take there by Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, geospatial analyst in the studio, speaking to us on this security matter. Now let's move away from insecurity to a developing situation in the People's Democratic Party. Over the weekend, we saw the PDP holding a convention in Ibadan, a much controversial convention that seemed as if it wouldn't hold, but then it held, and some key party members were expelled from the party, although comments have not come out from any of them yet. Assertions are that they're probably still consulting with their lawyers on what to do. This morning, we hear that the different factions, including the Turaki-led NWC of the People's Democratic Party, the Wike faction, are scheduling NEC and BOT meetings at the same venue in Wadata Plaza, seeking for control of the PDP secretariat. Here we are once again talking about the PDP and its struggles.
Yeah, the PDP is a shenanigan taken too far. And I said the other time and I said that they want to purge their own soul. And there is a repugnant alignment or malignment that they need to look into. Yeah. The very fabrics of PDP since 2015 has been damaged, and it keeps on getting worse on a daily basis. They need to look back seriously, and these shenanigans they have been doing the last 1 or 2 weeks is not what will help them. What is just happening is that individual ego, self-aggrandizement, and lack of focus that is leading to PDP into what they are currently facing. as at the organization of that particular Congress in Ibadan, it was known that the umpire, the electoral umpire, who was supposed to supervise the convention, were not present at that convention. So as such, that convention lacked merit to hold itself as a convention in the first place. Even at the convention, the chairman of the organizing committee dissociated himself with some of the claims and actions that were took at that particular convention in the person of the Adamawa State Governor, Amadou Fintiri.
Yeah.
He said that some of the decisions reached is of the individual who moved those decisions, because nobody can take it away from the likes of Wiki to have contributed immensely to the growth of PDP over the years. And one thing that is, there are some people that are political marauders, they are in and out of PDP. They are the one that have come to take away the soul of PDP from those people who have sustained it over the year. And the fight some of them are fighting, if you can sit down and peruse their reasons, somebody like Wiki and co, they will have their own reason. Those people that came in, like the governor of Oyo State and the likes, Bala Mohammed and co, they have their own reason as to why they are fighting the way they are fighting. But there is one thing that they are not doing. At the time that you have APC as the ruling party waxing stronger, the viable opposition that will be presented to APC in the next general election should have been from PDP across all elective offices, from the local government to the state assembly to the federal house of representatives and the senate, including the presidency. But the way they are coordinating themselves now has shown that they lack that capability to come as a opposition force. And that there is fifth columnists that are still, they are already out of the party. Somebody like Atiku, but they still leave some soldiers in the PDP
to fight on his
they handle somebody like Lamido. So Lamido is a loyalist of Atiku. He went to court. One of the litigation bedeviling the PDP is the one that was resolved in his favor. Then the Wiki and Anyanwu Fashion, they have their own issue. So the problem is that it's not like somebody that needs to go back home and play with his ancestors as to how he was not progressive in life, or what can he do. Say, okay, these are the things you need to do so that you can have a new course in your life. But failing to do that, they keep on fighting dirty in the city. And when you keep on fighting dirty, like now, as I'm talking to you now, Abu Kefas, the Taraba State Governor,
is planning to defect.
It's already a ceremony that will be held today. The NWC of the All Progressive, I think, will be in Taraba to receive him as a newcomer. Then 2 other governors are still warming up among those people that they have. Now, if you look at it, when they say one party state, it is the opposition that's giving it out because they are not able to manage their own house resolutely. And this is the bane of our democracy. Some people are in democracy not to make democracy thrive, but to serve their own personal interest. And it's what has been playing out in PDP of a recent, having 2 chairmen. In fact, the national secretary, Anyanwu, who signed the commencement of the convention, was not present at that convention. It's only Damagun, who was the chairman, who co-signed it, that was present. So there is a lot of problem, and this problem are more akin to individualism rather than the collective bargaining, which will be the PDP itself, how to grow the party, and look at the legacy the PDP is trying to leave as a house that could not manage itself. And that's just what is happening to PDP. And nobody who watches his own onions will be or would like to associate with PDP at this time. And this is not the time that's so critical in our nation that we're begging for opposition that will be viable, that could be able to challenge PDP for APC for its money. But the PDP now have refused to come to the party. And the key actor like Abubakar Atiku, Weke and the likes were not able to sit down one-on-one and face the issue that the party is greater than any one of them. In fact, they are who they are today as a result of the party. So they've used the plate to eat. Now the plate is dirty. They cannot even come together to wash it. And that's what is happening to them.
All right, Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, quite a fine place to leave the discussion. You have given in-depth analysis into this. Let's keep fingers crossed and see what happens today at Wadata Plaza.
It's still a shenanigans that will happen, because for two factions to be laying claim, I think the security will take over the place and disperse the two of them until when a competent court of jurisdiction proclaim one of them as the
winner.
As
the sole
owner of the secretariat.
Secretariat.
And I think if you look at it, that just supposed to be what is happening. The annual faction, in my own prediction, will still have the day, because that convention is a shenanigan, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we'll see about that. It's a pleasure having this discussion with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
It's nice being here.
That has been
Good morning, viewers, once again.
Well, good morning, viewers. That has been Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, a geospatial analyst, lending his deep wealth of knowledge with us here on Morning Express. Now, over the weekend, during the 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Courts here in Abuja, on Monday rather, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had mentioned that justice must never be for sale. Digital, transparent judiciary is also a necessity. This is, as he says, his administration will continue to support efforts at preserving judicial integrity in the country.